then you refuse. It's not that you refuse. Honorable Minister, I think you have addressed the media not once, several times. Today's media briefing takes a different dimension. It's a significant one. For this circle, we are saying this is the last one.
Yes.
We shall wait for the rain season to come. And when it comes, we shall know which fields are going to be planted and which plants or seeds are going to be planted in various parts of the country. With the outcome from there, then we see how we proceed. But this particular one is an opportunity for the minister to talk about, one, the performance of the mining sector in the first quarter of 2026, and will also be an opportunity for the minister to talk about the overall mining sector over his tenure of office as minister. He has done a lot of things, quarreling with so many people. And on the Copper Belt, when all things were down, the minister was always there to interact with the media. When everyone was saying, don't go to the media, this time this is sensitive, the minister says, these are political issues, and I need to deal with them in a very political way. So today, it's not a farewell, but it's a farewell to the media. So, Honorable Minister, it is your window, it's your opportunity to address the media.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to recognize the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Kameta, DS Mines, DG MRC, directors who are here. All of you, it's good to see you. It's good to have all of you here. This is a team that has helped us to implement the vision of one President Hakainde Hichilema, of reviving and resuscitating one of the most important sectors of our economy, which is the mines. So before I go in the speech, always when I start to speak, there's somebody I remember, so we insist you should read. So I'll be very obedient student. So I just want to first and foremost thank President Hakainde Hichilema for having appointed me to be part of a journey to bring value to our economy, to be at the helm of this ministry for the past 4.5, going into 5 years. It has been not only interesting but challenging. I came in this ministry without a lot of gray hair. I'm living with a white beard. So you can see that we have grown in stature, but also we've grown with the ministry. So I want to say thank you to President HH, and through President HH, the people of Zambia, because they are the ones that elected us, elected him to superintend over the affairs of the nation. So thank you to the people of Zambia, and also thank you to the PS, directors, and everybody who has worked with us to make sure that we achieve what we have achieved in the sector. I know that we have our own engagement with members of staff, so we'll talk more to thank each other and to apologize where we've stepped on each other's toes. But we did that because we wanted, can our phones please not, all of us have phones. This phone is not be vibrating, please.
Members of the press, for housekeeping issues, I mentioned earlier, I
So
said we
Karen,
have
take
colleagues
out
that are streaming
phones.
live. Please put your phones on silent. Thank you so much.
So I want to just give a brief synopsis of where we are coming from. We came in 2021. Some of the major things that we've done includes but not limited to: number one, we changed the mining policy in 2022 so that we could align it with the UPND manifesto and the vision of President Hakainde Hichilema. So we consulted various stakeholders, and the mining policy was put in place, which guided how we are going to run the affairs of the ministry. It is because of that mining policy that today we are talking about the mining, the MRC, which is now run by DG Tom Hara and team. The MRC is a Minerals Regulation Commission. We spoke about it in opposition days that Zambian mining sector needs a regulator, and we put in place a regulator. So after the mining policy, we also tinkered with the Mines and Minerals Act of 2015, which we changed, and now we have the MRC Act. Now we have a regulator in place. The purpose of the regulator is enhancement, number one, of production figures being reported in a manner that is clear, in a manner that is true. We are also pushing a regulator to make sure that we deal with issues of illegal mining. We enhance the efficiency of the ministry, and that's why the MRC was born. So apart from that, because of the guidance of the policy aligned with the UPND manifesto, for the first time this country has a local content bill. I mean local content SI, which is law now, and that SI, local content, will be graduating. Now we started with 20%. By the time it reaches the fourth year, we'll be at 40% businesses to Zambians, companies, contractors, suppliers. Those are some of the major achievements, but also resuscitation of all the mines that were not firing. KCM resuscitated. You hear in the report it's one of those mines that are doing very well. Mopani, brought back to life, was fighting with Glencore and everybody. Mopani is back, and you will see from the production figures as I give you that Mopani is doing very well. Again, we went to mines that were dead for 23 years, 28 shafts. Gone and lost. Nobody had hope until President HH and his team came. There we are talking about a shaft that has been dewatered completely now, and we could be talking production anytime soon. Through that engagement and the mantra of President HH of not mining in court, we brought back to life a mine 46 years dead called Kalengwa. It's back, and we hope that it can create a lot of jobs for our people in the Northwestern Province. Another mine that was riddled with court battles was Kitumba. I remember with my PS there were a lot of back and forth meetings, headaches here and there, until negotiations worked, and Kitumba mine is in production soon. I think it will be a 50,000 tons, but they are trying to push it to go to 100,000. This has been the journey of resuscitating the economy of the country, and for the first time Zambia has reached 816 metric tons. Am I correct? The statisticians. 891, because we are pushing towards the 1 million tons of copper production, which will lead us to the 3 million tons vision of President Hakainde Hichilema. We've heard commentators from all over that the economy of Zambia has actually responded to the resuscitation of the mining sector. The reforms that we have put in place, the reforms that the President has put in place, have made the economy to respond. the currency to respond. Growth from negative 2.8%, now we are heading towards 5-6% growth in the economy, largely because of the growth in the mining sector. So we are so grateful for the support from the staff and from the technical people that we've been able to achieve these things in the past 4 years. So I'll tell you that our first step as UPND in the mining sector, we will walk head high, that there are a lot of things that we can point to that we have achieved in the mining sector. It's a catalog of things, a lot of things have happened. Investor confidence has skyrocketed. People are rushing to Zambia because the investment climate has been made very attractive by the policies of President HH and the New Dawn government. Again, we have done another huge milestone, which is an ongoing thing. I'll give a report on it. The aerial survey. For the first time in over 50 years, I know that the geologists are now happy that we are doing a survey for the country. High resolution. We have to define our country's mineral wealth. This is a huge milestone, and it is being funded 100% by the government of the Republic of Zambia. So our data is ours because we are funding it, and rules and regulations will be given on how that data will be accessed. So it's been a busy 4.5 years for us, and the results are there to show. Even in the gold sector, the formalization of artisanal miners. For the first time, we have scored that artisanal miners are being trained across the country. The president gave instructions, there will be no illegal mining. There will only be safe mining. There will only be formal mining. So the instruction was artisanal miners must be trained. As we move them away from the illegal operations, we've taken them for training. We've done in Northwestern Province, we've done in Southern Province, we've done in Northern Muchinga Province. We are now going to Central Province in Kabwe to go and train some more artisanal miners. So these are some of the major, milestones that we have achieved as a ministry in the last 5 years, and of course as government led by one President HH. So let me go to the statement. I wanted to give just a brief, otherwise I'll finish the whole press out, just explaining the great things that have been achieved in the sector. But let me, go back to my speech. I think I've done all the recognitions here, and members of the press, you are duly recognized. This briefing is intended to provide the nation with an update on the progress and performance of the mining sector, which continues to play a critical role in Zambia's economy and development. I will also take this opportunity to highlight key development and policy initiatives that have been taken by government. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to report that the mining sector recorded encouraging performance during the first quarter of 2026, largely driven by increased investor confidence, ongoing mine recapitalization programs, expansion projects, and the positive impact of policy and regulatory reforms implemented by government during the past 5 years under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. Allow me to highlight some of the key developments and interventions undertaken in the first quarter of 2026. Number one, 2026 production figures for various mineral commodities. During the period under review, the mining sector continued to record positive growth, driven largely by increased investments and expansion activities in large-scale mining operations, as well as favorable developments in the global economy and international mineral markets. Improved investor confidence, rising demand for copper, and ongoing mine recapitalization programs also contributed significantly to enhanced sector performance. The government has remained steadfast in implementing its mining sector diversification agenda aimed at reducing the overdependence on copper, promoting exploration, mining, and processing of other mineral commodities. In this regard, deliberate efforts have continued to be made to encourage investment in strategic minerals such as gold, manganese, cobalt, nickel, lithium, gemstones, and other minerals that are increasingly important in the global energy transition and industrial development. These initiatives are intended not only to broaden the country's mineral production base, but also to increase export earnings, create employment opportunities, stimulate value addition, and enhance the contribution of the mining sector to economic growth. In line with these developments, production performance for selected mineral commodities during the first quarter of 2026 was as follows. Copper, quarter one of 2025, we had 218,308 metric tons. Quarter one, in comparison to quarter one of 2026, we are 208,992.66. There is a negative change here of about 4%, and it will be explained as I go down. In gold, I'm making comparisons of first quarter of 2025 and first quarter of this year. In gold, we had 1,000 kilograms in quarter one of 2025. 2026 quarter one, we have 1,134.42 kilograms, representing 13.2% increase. For cobalt, we had 68 metric tons compared to 74 in this quarter, showing a percentage change of 9%, which means there was an increase for cobalt. For nickel, quarter one of 2025, we had 5,000 metric tons. Quarter one of 2026, 12,000 metric tons, showing a percentage increase of 142.75%. Silicon manganese, quarter one of 2025, 11,800, compared to quarter one 2026, 11,354, representing negative 4% decrease. For zinc, 19,664 compared to 10,629, showing a decrease of negative 45%. For gemstones, emeralds, quarter one of 2025, we had 2,441 compared to 8,328, indicating an increase of 241%. Other commodities like cement, we had 770,000 metric tons compared to 834,000 metric tons in quarter one of 2026, indicating an increase of 8%. For coal, 209,000 in 2025, quarter one, and quarter one of this year, 286,000, representing 36% increase. It is important to note that the reported copper production figures represent the combined output from both large-scale mining operation and small-scale processing plants across the country. I am pleased to inform the nation that despite a decline in overall copper production, output from large-scale mines during the first quarter of 2026 registered positive growth. Copper production from large-scale mines increased from 195,418 metric tons recorded in the first quarter of 2025 to 198,930 metric tons during the corresponding period in 2026, This represents a year-on increase of 1.8%. This growth is an indication of the resilience of the mining sector and reflects the positive impact of ongoing investments, mine expansion projects, improved operational efficiencies, and government's continued effort to provide a stable and conducive environment for mining operations. This year, directors, we have to hit 1 million. This one, there will be no compromise. We have to work hard, MRC, we have to work hard at policy level. I think we've created that environment. We need to hit 1 million for the country this year so that our economy can respond to that, so that we have more jobs for our youths, so that we have more business for local contractors and suppliers. So the mandate is huge for us to hit the 1 million metric tons. I want to give you some specifics on certain mining companies so that you can see why there was that negative growth during the first quarter. Kansanshi Mine PLC recorded a decline in copper production. Remember, we said negative 4% was what was the negative growth for copper production. Now this is the explanation. So Kansanshi had a decline of 4.25% during the first quarter of 2026. The reduction was primarily attributed to lower ore grades processed during the period under review compared to the corresponding period in 2025. However, Lumwana Mine registered a strong performance with a production increase of 19.2% compared to the first quarter of 2025. The improved output was largely driven by increased mining fleet capacity, that is investment coming in the mine, and that's why we encourage investment. Enhanced operational efficiencies, improved budgetary support, which facilitated higher material movement, improved ore exposure, and great consistency in plant feed supply. These interventions significantly contributed to enhanced production performance during the period under review. Meanwhile, NFCA recorded a decline in production of 10.5%, and this reduction was mainly attributed to the placement of the South Ore Body under care and maintenance from July 2025 to December 2025 in mining. That's a long period of putting a mine on care and maintenance. Although mining operations resumed in January 2026, production recovery was implemented through a phased restart program, resulting in a gradual ramp-up process rather than an immediate return to full production capacity. Consequently, overall production levels during the first quarter remained below those recorded during the corresponding period in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, Mopani and Konkola both recorded positive production performance during the first quarter of 2026, reflecting ongoing operational improvements and renewed investment activities within these mines. Mopani increased production from 13,300 metric tons recorded in the first quarter of 2025 to 13,893 metric tons in the corresponding period of 2026, representing an increase of 4.4%. Similarly, KCM posted a notable improvement in output, with production rising from 16,900 to 20,600, representing a significant year-on-year increase of 22%. These positive developments are indicative of improved operational performance at the two mining operations, supported by ongoing recapitalization programs, enhanced mine development activities, improved equipment availability, and greater consistency in plant feed supply. The performance further demonstrates the positive impact of strategic investments and operational stabilization measures being implemented within the mines. Overall, the large-scale mining subsector recorded a modest improvement in copper production during the first quarter of 2026. Performance across the industry remained mixed, with production gains recorded at the mines like Lumwana, KCM, Mopani, and several other operations, helping to offset production declines at Kansanshi, NFCA, FQM, and Sinometals. I hope that these mines in the coming quarter will up their game, because if the others are improving and these improve, then it will be easier for us to hit the 1 million ton. Meanwhile, you may wish to note that the small-scale copper subsector also recorded a significant decline in production during the first quarter of 2026. Copper output from small-scale operations decreased from 22,800 to 10,000 metric tons during the period in 2026, representing a decline in 56%. The reduction was largely attributed to reduced compliance among small-scale copper producers. Compliance issues. Director, now we have a director. In fact, that's another achievement, how that we have given a lot of importance to this sector, because it will absorb a lot of our youths. So MRC, but also director for, you are called director for what? The one who deals with small scale miners. Artisanal and small scale. That's Mr. Chair, isn't it? They need to make sure that they up their game, because the reasons why there was this reduction is because compliance among small scale producers actually went down. Compliance in terms of submission of monthly reports to all the regulatory authorities. Government remains very committed, very, very committed to strengthening compliance, improving reporting mechanisms, and enhancing monitoring systems within the small-scale mining subsector in order to ensure accurate production data. We don't want understatement of production figures. You saw that 2 days ago, we launched the vehicles that we bought for the regions. That is also to help compliance, to help check, to make sure that we are getting the right production figures. Actually, as a ministry, the thought of engaging technology in terms of drones, checking people who are doing mining, because there are people that may be doing mining but not reporting that they are doing mining, and this must be curtailed. Cobalt production, ladies and gentlemen, increased substantially by 9% in 2026. This continued growth was primarily driven by a higher output of alloys associated with increased copper production at KCM, as well as greater recovery of cobalt content in copper anodes. The expansion in downstream processing and enhanced recovery of cobalt as a byproduct of copper operations contributed materially to the overall surge in the production of cobalt. Participation of Zambians in the mining sector through licensing. During the first quarter of 2026, no mining licenses were issued, as the Minerals Regulation Commission did not convene any mining license committee meetings to reconsider applications for the mining rights. This situation arose because we were waiting to appoint the MRC board, which should subsequently appoint the mining license committee. I'm pleased to inform you that on the 6th of May 2026, I appointed the inaugural board of the Minerals Regulation Commission. With the board now duly constituted, the process of establishing the mining license committee will commence without delay, and sittings to review and consider outstanding mining rights applications will begin immediately thereafter. I wish to assure all stakeholders and the general public that notwithstanding the backlog of unprocessed license applications that has accumulated, government is committed to ensuring that all pending applications are processed transparently, efficiently, and within the shortest possible time in accordance with the law and established regulatory procedures. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about local content regulations, which I alluded to in my preamble. So following the issuance of Statutory Instrument number 68 of 2025, the Geological and Minerals Development Local Content Preference for Goods and Services in the Mining Sector in 2025, eventual enforcement on 1st January 2025, the Local Content Access System has been developed to facilitate transparent, efficient, and effective implementation, as well as monitoring of local content regulation. Training of trainers workshops were undertaken where 30 users in the industry were trained to ensure effective rollout and utilization of the system. The system was operationalized in the first quarter of 2026. I need to emphasize this point to the mining companies, but also to all of us who are in the ministry. This matter is more than important to our economy, to the betterment of our people's lives. Mining companies will do well to obey this law, but also those of us who are tasked with checking compliance. This is the end of the first quarter. We need to check what is going on. Are mining companies complying? Are they doing what is supposed to be done? Are they doing local supplier development programs? Are they being deliberate in the way that business is being rolled out? Are the companies that are called local, are they really local companies? Those are the issues that we must follow and check in the first quarter. And we will not hesitate to be punitive to those that disobey the law. So let's make sure that we check these things, we make sure this law is being followed to the letter, so that our people can see benefit of the hard work that President Teacher has put on in the mining sector. Number 4, countrywide high-resolution area geophysical survey. As of 26th March 2026, the countrywide high-resolution area geophysical survey had reached a national coverage of 61.7%. By 11th May 2026, coverage had increased significantly to 73%, reflecting steady progress in the implementation of the survey across the country. The survey is currently ongoing in Central, Eastern, Muchinga, Copperbelt, Northern, and Lusaka provinces. These remaining areas represent the final phase of data acquisition under the program. While the survey was initially scheduled for completion in December 2026, the pace of progress to date has been encouraging. Based on the current performance trends, there is a strong indication that the exercise may be completed ahead of schedule, potentially by August 2026, subject to sustained operational efficiency and favorable field conditions. Formalization of artisanal and small-scale mining subsector. During the first quarter of 2026, Zambia Gold Company Limited, which is an appointed aggregator, purchased 3,656.36 grams, which is about 3 kg of gold, compared to 1,983.31 grams purchased during the same period, representing an increase of 84.36%. So you can see that because of the reforms that we've put in place, because of how we are dealing with the artisanal miners, the purchase of gold has increased by 86%.